Karine Jean-Pierre is like, he's staying up late every night. And some nights, he's not even having vanilla ice cream. Sometimes it's chocolate ice cream. And you know that's really bad for his tummy. It's like, I don't care, dude. I don't care. Drop out. You're about to die. White House is live. All right, we'll go to White House. Do we have the White House New York Times CNN poll? Yeah, we're gonna look at all that, but let's go live to the White House real quick because Biden said that he might actually drop out of the race. Then Biden said he's not gonna drop out of the race most likely. What is this? The call just wrapped. There's a press briefing that will follow the call.
We'll use to purchase interceptors for.
Okay, I don't give a fuck about the Defense Department's interceptors right now. Are you on crack, Karine Jean-Pierre? Get the fuck out of here. All right. So as of this morning, or I guess it's like night here, but as of this morning in the United States of America, okay, Biden had an all hands on deck meeting with Jeff Zients, like all staff, all hands. Okay. Biden also started talking to top Democratic Party officials finally after like a tumultuous week of post-debate conversations urging him to drop out, including the New York Times and even some active Democratic Party members, even, seated representatives and the like. And obviously when the New York Times reporting came in earlier today, a couple hours ago, about key allies, Brandon tells key allies he might drop out. I thought, oh, it's going to happen, right? Any day now, any moment now. However, it turns out that the malignant narcissist who personally believes that he is like always down and out, but a tough fighter nonetheless, is not dropping out. He has said as of now, since that call, President Biden on campaign call that just wrapped per person on the call. Let me say this as clearly as I possibly can, simply and straightforward as I can. I am running. No one's pushing me out. I'm not leaving. I'm in this race to the end, and we're going to win. Bro thinks this is like dude, this is like old school. This is some straight like, God, I don't want to say Stalin. People are going to get mad at me, but this kind of is giving Stalin. Bro thinks he's an authoritarian strongman in like a Latin American country or something. Like, what do you mean you're holding on? What are you holding on to, bro? You are not him.
So, yeah, just a couple of things.
You're holding on for dear life to your life.
The president has certainly spoken to this many times about the debate, and so he had an opportunity to do that in front of supporters, and as you just stated, he did that. He talked about, he owned that the debate was not his best night, and he said himself, it's not an excuse, but it's an explanation. I was standing here yesterday, and many people were asking why and what's the explanation, and that's what you heard from him. Look, the two, I think, in addition to the two major trips, he was also continued to do his presidential duties. He worked late in doing that, and he also prepared for the debate. And on top of that,
you got to stop with that. You have no business with this. You have to stop. You have to stop talking like he's a baby, bro. You can't. Oh, the widow baby. The widow baby stayed up late last night. Like every press briefing, Karine Jean-Pierre is like, he's staying up late every night, okay? And some nights, he's not even having vanilla ice cream. Sometimes it's chocolate ice cream. And you know that's really bad for his tummy. And he has that instead because there's no vanilla ice cream to be had in the White House kitchen. It's like, I don't care, dude. I don't care. Drop out. You're about to die.
Yeah, and also you wish you could have done better. And so he took ownership. I think that's important. And he's going to continue to make a strong case for his agenda. And that's what you're going to see.
I'm not going to lie. This is way worse than the Biden has sex with Jill Biden super hard leaks. Like, I really do wish like Karine Jean-Pierre would go up there and be like, honestly, the president is working really hard, tirelessly, and also plowing the shit out of his wife, Dr. Jill Biden. Like, just switch it up. You know what I mean? Just like pull a fast one and be like, are you people paying attention now? Okay, that's right. He has got pipe game. Okay, he's got pipe game. The walls are sweating. Back walls breaking. That's my president right there.
schedule where, you know, the president traveled 6 time zones forward to G7 in Italy.
Oh my
9 time
God.
zones
Oh my God.
back to-
Oh my
to
God.
LA,
I'm gonna
9
die.
zones,
Oh my
forward
God.
again
He,
to
the
DC.
president,
That's something that one of the-
bro, nobody. The president is not flying on Ryanair. Okay, he's flying on Air Force One with a medical staff, with a private chef. Like, why are we talking like this motherfucker was flying to France on economy with like 8 different connections, bro? What are we doing? And that shit was like 2 weeks ago. The f do you mean, man? Oh, he was just an EP boy, bro. Yeah, dude, he was on Spirit, and then he swapped over on a puddle jumper. He went to England first and then went to Germany on a weird connection and then got a Ryanair flight out to France afterwards. It's like, shut the f up, dude. It's Air Force One. That shit is like, Brandon is so goddamn demented. He probably thinks he's in the White House when he's sitting in Air Force One. What are you talking about? Like, what is this? Like, this shit makes me mad, dude. This makes me so mad. They're trying so hard to just make it seem like there's a good reason for him to behave like this. And then the reason is, oh, he's a little eepy boy.
With his family. I think what's important is that he has done this outreach. He's having these conversations. It is important to him to do so. And the folks that I laid out that he spoke to or some of them have been his colleagues. Some of them have been elected officials that he's known for some time. Obviously, Leader Jeffries is a new relationship that he has, someone that he obviously respects, and so, you know, it is. I think it's important to note that there were strong
only
conversations. That's
now
something that the
she's
president
like, yeah,
told me and
yeah.
my team
He
directly
finally
when we
reached out to
those,
the
but to see
Democratic Party
president
House leadership.
strong
Finally.
conversation.
Only a week and a half later, dude. That's crazy. You left his ass hanging for a week and a half. As people were like, is he dropping out? Is he dropping out? Is he dropping out? Is he dropping out? And you just did not even give him a phone call. He didn't give Nancy Pelosi a phone call. Hakeem Jeffries is a more significant person at this point for the Democratic Party than Nancy Pelosi, of course. But like, it is wild. No allies for Brandon. Just Hunter Biden. Think about that for a brief moment while these guys are asking these questions. This mother flops so hard, the entire country's like, bro, you gotta stop. You gotta stop running. You're too old. You're gonna die, Joe. Your bitch is no longer bad. Your weed is no longer loud, Joe. You have to drop out of the race. We gotta save democracy. What does he do? What does he do? He calls up Hunter Biden, bro. He doesn't call up the leaders of the Democratic Party and like, you know, bring up the ranks and you know, tell them like, here's our messaging going forward. Sure, I was an EP boy, whatever, fuck it, YOLO. You know, I'm gonna go out and tell everybody how hard I fuck my wife or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, none of that shit. No communication seminar, nothing. Who does he call up? Crackhead Hunter Biden, dude. What are we doing here? That's crazy. That's crazy. What is going on? It's just like they're in meltdown mode over there. It's like, it's pack watch.
And so he wants to continue to deliver, expanding healthcare. All of these things he believes is important. Majority of Americans believe it's important. And his record, he wants to make sure that people do not forget about the record that he's been able to lay on behalf of the American people.
Is there anything, Kareem, that would change his mind?
Look, I cannot lay out something that would change the president's mind.
What can we do? Why won't he drop out? Please, dude.
He's going to
He's like, nope.
continue to build on the unprecedented record that he's been able to lay out for the
She just keeps
American
repeating it
people.
over
That's
and
his
over
focus.
again, but just like more quietly next time.
What does the president do outside the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.?
Well, you heard him speak to supporters yesterday outside of 4 p.m. You saw the president land in North Carolina in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock. What was he doing? He was greeting supporters, hundreds of supporters that showed up to cheer him on after the debate.
Bro, this
You
shit.
saw
Wait,
him
this is a
speaking
repeat of
at 9
yesterday,
o'clock
bro.
at
Is
night
this?
in New York in front of
This is
supporters.
literally a repeat of
So,
yesterday. She said the exact same shit
pretty
yesterday.
much
She was
out
like, the
there
president, he's such a
after
big boy.
wee hours
He
of
even met with a
4
couple of
p.m.
friends.
before, before 10 a.m. for sure. And so that has been something he has consistently done.
Dude. Okay. Karine Jean-Pierre, all-time one of the worst press secretaries of all time. Okay, all-time worst. Like, the convincing way to reply to this is not to be like, yeah, he's an EP boy, but look at how well he did yesterday. Okay, no, the way to respond to this would be like, that is ridiculous. Okay, you're supposed to attack it head on. You're supposed to literally be contentious at this point and be like, that's a ridiculous assessment. The fact that you are even questioning the president's mental faculties is insane to me. It feels like I'm talking to Fox News. Like, that's what I would do if I was press secretary. Okay, I'd be like, am I talking to Fox News or am I talking to the New York Times? The amount of hack jobs that you guys are throwing in the way of this administration that has done a phenomenal job recovering from COVID, doing, building America back better, doing the IRA, doing things that are unimaginable, inflation under control, record numbers on job growth. And you guys are over here asking, can he be up after 4 p.m.? You saw him on camera yesterday in North Carolina. That was at 2 a.m. What do you think he was doing? He was greeting fans and supporters. Okay. Do you not have watches over at the New York Times? Instead, obviously that would be like still gaslighting because like ultimately Biden is an EP boy, but like just have a little bit of energy, man. What are you doing? Have a little bit of energy. What are you doing? She's like, oh, well, the president was, he sent me a text message at 9:30. He said, I'm up, by the way. And he took one little baby nap in between, but his nap times are actually much, much shorter now. It's like, no, dude, that's not the way to address this. You're doing a bad job. You're doing a bad job, KJP. You're doing a bad job.
They want to see him.
But
It speaks to that.
But we didn't share that information ahead of time.
Now, if
You
she
all
were to say
asked
that, I'd
what
still
was
shit
going
on her
and
because
then
she's
we shared that
lying, but like
information.
at least she'd be
We
better at
didn't
her job.
We didn't use that before the debate. You all asked, hey, is he under the weather? And we confirmed that he was under the weather. He pushed through. That's what this president does. He is going to continue.
Nevertheless, he persisted. I'm persisting too. Persisting to drop this goddamn internet, dude. Holy shit. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's in and out. There's going to be some cuts. Boys, girls, there's going to be some cuts up in this bitch, okay? It's a little patchy. It's a little patchy, but it's going to get back. It's going to get back stronger than ever, stronger than before. Nevertheless, she persisted type shit, okay? I'm talking about my internet. I'm not talking about Hillary Clinton. This is her story. And we're making history, his story. But it's not his story. It's actually her story. Come on, please come back, the internet. Please don't cook me again. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. All right. You might also be losing your goddamn mind thinking like, why am I seeing an ad right now? Well, that's because it's the top of the hour, okay? And at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads at the top of the hour, however, all you need to do is subscribe. We're going to keep rolling with the punches as though nothing happened, as though I'm not effing again over and over again. My latency will recover. We will recover. Things will recover. Your latency is so bad by the time I see the F, you've recovered from the F. I don't know. I mean, put it on low latency mode or something. Sakura Gore, thank you for the 10 gift to subs line 10. People that no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. I'm so upset right now. Oh my God, it's effing again. It's effing again. It's going to be fine though. As you know, it F's a little bit and then we go through it and then it gets better. Okay, here's a 3-minute ad break now. It's a mini baby F. Come on now.
You fight for the American people. So he pushed through it. I think anybody who does that, not just the president, should be commended. And he also said, you heard him say this on Friday, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
Yeah, that was
That's what you
brilliant.
saw.
That was sick. That was sick that he said that. That was cool. Chumbawamba shit. Everyone always talks about
With his campaign, as his campaign has been very, very clear about that. That's what I can speak to, and that's what I can say, and that is the president's focus. The president's focus is how does he continue to do that work, and anything else that we're hearing or that's being reported is absolutely false.
Is the president telling people he's evaluating the
Absolutely
race?
false. That is absolutely false. I saw that.
bro, I don't know what the going on my end. I'm looking on the internet speed test. On my end, I'm looking at the internet speed test and it shows 18 up. You know what I mean? I don't know what the going on. Maybe it's a Twitch server issue. Maybe it's an issue on my end. Maybe it's a laptop issue. I don't know what the it is. Maybe it's a skill issue. But the reality of the matter is I'm cooking right now. On my end, I'm literally looking at it and it's saying reliable upload speeds, okay? Chat is probably delayed. That's why I'm saying F. I can't lower my bit rate. I've already started streaming. I'd have to end the stream and restart it. I don't know if like it's the OBS being overloaded. It's probably the internet still, but let's continue.
And that's what that's what I would focus on. The president continuing to be very steady and continuing to work on for the American people.
But just to follow up on Kelly's question, do you think the president feels like the coming days are very critical for him as you laid out all these events that he's going to be doing?
Yeah.
Are these events very important for him to show to the American people that he still has the ability to be the nominee?
I would say that this moment is critical, regardless of the debate or not. We are living in an important moment right now. Everything is at stake. And I got to be mindful because this is all connected to what's happening in November. And I think any leader would say they always have to prove to themselves to their constituents, right? It is a day in and day out work. And yes, the president's going to have engagement. He's going to be out there speaking to the American people. Obviously, we mentioned Wisconsin. He's going to do an interview in Wisconsin as well. We talked about Pennsylvania. But the president was also out last week. Atlanta, North Carolina, New York, where he saw supporters. This is a president that has been consistently out there talking directly to the American people. He understands, as you all asked me about the economy and what people are feeling. He understands that they have to hear directly from him, and he has to continue to do that so that he can lay out his agenda. He can lay out what he wants to continue to do. It's always going to be part of the calculation, right? To continue to prove to the American people that he can continue to do the work and deliver for
This is so fucking bad.
Deliver on behalf of the American people.
And Jeff had the staff meeting
Yeah.
today. Can you just give us a rundown of really what he tried to get across? And is there a morale issue in the White House right now?
It's a fair question, and I do have a couple of things I want to say. As you just said, the Chief of Staff, Jeff Zients, did have an all-staff call. He wanted to gather the team across the building and acknowledge what the president said himself, right? That the last few days have been challenging. We've been very, very clear in acknowledging that. But we have had an extraordinary record to be proud of, and we know we have more work to do. The president says that all the time. He conveyed the importance of executing on our mission. He talked about the importance of coming together as a team and also having each other's backs. And so, look, he also said, which I think was really important, and I think every staff wants to hear, that the Chief of Staff door is open and is open to hearing directly from them any questions or any concerns. And, I think that's what you do as a leader.
Thanks, Kareem. If there are so many questions right now about whether President Biden can do this job, why are we not seeing the president out there every single day in an
Even the sign
unscripted
language
way without
interpreter
teleprompters?
doesn't believe what she's saying.
You're going to see him today,
It's
certainly,
bad.
and I know you're asking about the teleprompter.
It's bad.
You're going to see him tomorrow, right? 4th of July.
It's bad.
You'll have an opportunity to welcome active duty military and their families, and certainly their loved ones here on the South Lawn, as he does every year. And I think that's going to be important. He'll be able to engage with them and thank them directly. And you'll see him in Wisconsin, and you'll continue to see him, obviously, in the upcoming weeks. Look, it is not unusual for a president to use a teleprompter. It isn't. It is not unusual. That is something that presidents have done in the past. I think what we also have to remember, and I'll keep saying this because I think it's important to not forget, that he has the strongest economic recovery in modern history. He has led a historic midterm win when everybody was talking about a red wave, and been able to defy that and deliver by being a leader, right? Obviously doing the midterms as a Democratic leader. And he's going to continue to work to get lower costs. And I think that matters. I think his record certainly matters. And you are going to continue to see him, having interviews. He's going to do ABC, as you know, with George Stephanopoulos, one of your colleagues. That's not scripted. And he has done more than 40 interviews that have not been scripted. Interviews do not have a script this year alone. So you'll see him out there engaging with the American people, and I think that's important.
But again, we're now almost a week after the debate. Why doesn't the president just come here right now and answer for himself at this briefing room all of the questions that we have?
You asked me a couple things. You asked when is he going to be unscripted? He has been. When he went to visit a diner in a couple of days ago at the Waffle House when he met with some of the supporters in Atlanta, North Carolina, where hundreds of supporters showed up. He certainly had an opportunity to engage. On Friday,
That's
he's going to
basically,
be
hell
taking,
no, it's not going to
some
happen.
questions from one of your colleagues. I think that's going to be important.
She's
and we're gonna
basically
continue
saying
to
like,
engage
yeah,
with-
we're not doing an unscripted press conference, okay?
Looking forward to doing that. He'll have a press conference next week at NATO press conference, a big boy press conference, as Justin from Bloomberg stated yesterday. And so we'll do that, and he's looking forward to it.
And Korean President Biden has always promised to tell the American people the truth. So can you be straight with us and the American people? Is the president clear-eyed about what it takes to stay in the race and
That's a
what it
Dell
would take for him to
laptop.
drop out?
The president is clear-eyed, and he is staying in the race. I don't have anything else beyond that. He's staying in the race. That is what the president
That's for a
has
Dell
promised to
laptop.
do.
I don't
That
have-
is what he wants to continue to work on, the successes that he's
Killer
had. His record is
networking?
unprecedented record, and that is what the president is focused on, continuing to deliver for the American people. And he looks forward to doing that. Go ahead.
The NATO summit is coming up next week.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the president frustrated that this debate over the presidential election could cast a shadow over your goals for the NATO summit? Has he made any effort to reach out to the NATO leaders that will be coming to sort of assure them that this isn't going to derail that agenda?
So look, as you stated, next week, the president's going to host the NATO summit here in Washington, D.C. It is also the 75th year anniversary of NATO. And let's not forget, NATO has become stronger and has gained 2 more countries because of this president's leadership, and all very much important in doing so is very much important in stopping and helping to stop Putin's aggression as Ukraine continues to fight, certainly for their freedom and democracy. Look, foreign leaders have seen the president close up. They have. And you know, and close up and personally for the past 3 years. And I think that's important to know. They know who they are dealing with and how effective he has been. I just talked about how NATO has expanded because of his leadership, how NATO is stronger because of his leadership. And I think that's important to note as well. And
Wait, so what is Joe Biden's platform?
Look,
NATO. Joe Biden's platform is NATO. He's running for the Ukraine vote, which is, I mean, that's like the one aspect that they keep hammering over and over again. And it's like, I'm not going to lie, dude. I know there's a lot of O's and Andes in this community. I know there's a lot of people who care about this sort of thing. But like, as far as the broader American electorate, like, if you were to be like, hey, man, do you want free healthcare or you want a stronger NATO? Everyone would be like, what the are you talking? They would shoot you in the face. Okay. They'd be like, what are you saying to me right now? Hey, do you want to fix the potholes or do you want a stronger NATO? Do you want, I don't know, insert anything, like any kitchen table issue or a stronger NATO? Most people will be like, what is NATO? I don't care. Shut up. Okay. Do you want a better American infrastructure plan or do you want a stronger NATO? The fuck are you talking about NATO? What?
I have not spoken to the Office of Legislative Affairs, so I can't speak to that. What I can say is the president certainly has looked forward to working with Democratic leaders and congressional members over the
For
past
the
3
record,
years.
before people get
Talking-
mad at me, I'm not saying these two things are at odds with one another, even though they technically are, because NATO is a fundamental part of the American military-industrial complex, which is basically a parasitic force that sucks up all of the resources that could be going to the things that I'm talking about. And yet, ultimately, you could do both technically, and that's not what I'm saying. That's not the issue presented. It's just that if you're constantly only talking about how NATO is stronger, you basically are undermining yourself. You're not presenting your best self. You're not. I'm not a pro-NATO person, obviously, but that's besides the point. I'm personally talking about like Biden's reelection right now, and it's probably the dumbest thing to talk about. Like, I feel as though it's the dumbest thing to talk about, to be like, yeah, you guys got to reelect me because I'm doing NATO. It's like, I don't think Americans care about foreign policy that much. Even when it's Israel, they don't care about it enough. And it's just like, you know, it's just a ridiculous way to try and win a reelection.
Has the White House, have you sort of missed the boat in terms of responding quickly enough I mean, I spoke to someone today who said it was too little, too late.
Quickly enough on what specifically?
In explaining and discussing what happened at the
I-
debate
well-
and reassuring donors and
So-
other people that, he
Look-
intends to keep running.
Look, as it relates to donors or anything political like that, so obviously that's something that the campaign should respond to. But I would remind you that the day after in North Carolina, the president spoke to his debate performance. He did. He talked about it. He gave, his thoughts. He also stated that, look, I'm not as young. I'm not a young man. He said that. I'm not as a smooth talker as I used to be. I don't walk easily as I used to be, and I don't debate as well as I used to. He said this, and so he owned up to it on Friday, the day after the debate, that afternoon. And so we didn't wait. Now, as far as engagement, look, that is something certainly the campaign can speak to more. But the president, in front of hundreds of supporters in North Carolina, talked about his debate performance. So, get him.
Maybe Biden will drop out because he's, or potentially have a medical emergency because he's too sad.
Any medical exam?
Because everybody keeps telling him to drop out.
Physical in February.
And we were able to talk to his doctor about that, and that is a no.
He hasn't had any kind of medical exam.
No.
So the White House has said no to releasing the full results of that annual. Said no to making Dr. O'Connor available for questions from us. No to releasing any other information that would shed some more light on the president's health. I guess I'm just wondering if now is not the time for full transparency. When is?
So I would say, MJ, to your question, that what we have released over the past 3 years, every year since he's been in office, has been transparent, and it has been comprehensive. It has been one of the most transparent. We have been one of the most transparent administration when it comes to medical records. That is what we've been able to do. And I would add that it is not the norm to bring the doctor to the podium. That is not the norm. And we have owned up. This president directly has owned up to what happened at the debate last Thursday. He's talked about it multiple times, and directly to supporters, directly to the American people. And what we want to do is continue to certainly deliver on the record accomplishments that we've been able to do.
I understand that you feel like the White House has been thorough in the medical records that you all have released, but obviously you're getting these questions in large part because of what we saw for 90 minutes on Thursday night and people's responses to what they saw, right? A lot of people expressing shock. So why not release more information? What would be the downside?
Look, what I can tell you is that we have been transparent. We'll continue to be transparent. And
I mean, this is just her getting cooked over and over again, with the same exact positions being repeated over and over again. It's not looking too good. So let's get to the news. O'Donnell, we would invite the president to come here and tell us if he's awake.
I'm sharing with you his.
He's absolutely running.
Yeah. Well, he's saying that, and I'm sharing with you his view.
And we would invite the president to come here and tell us
Noted.
directly.
Noted, Kelly.
But
He's awake.
that's inappropriate.
As you heard from your colleague, the president of the WHA, that's inappropriate. Thank you, Kelly.
He's absolutely.
That's a good one. We'll give him that. Elena Schneider says, as we talked about earlier, President Biden on campaign call to just wrap per person on the call. Let me say this as clearly as I possibly can, simply and straightforwardly as I can. I am running. No one's pushing me out. I'm not leaving. I'm in this race to end. I'm in this race to the end, and we're going to win. Also, simultaneously, while that's happening, a new New York Times CNN post-debate poll shows Trump widening his lead among likely voters nationally by 3 percentage points. Trump is now at 49%. Biden is at 43%. It is Trump's largest ever lead in a Times poll. If the 2024 presidential election were held today, who would you vote for if the candidates were Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Likely voters go 43% Biden, 49% Trump. In that poll, every demographic, including black voters that would vote for Biden, think he's too old to be effective. We'll go through these numbers in a second. I can't wait to see what good news is coming out for the branding camp. Also, his approval rating. Biden has hit an all-time worst approval rating again. 56.9% disapproval, 37.2% approval rating. That is crazy. Okay. Oh, yeah. If Biden loses, it's nobody's fault but the DNC's. I mean, we said that with Hillary Clinton, and look where that got us. This Biden stuff is giving RBG vibes? Yes. And once again, just like with RBG shit, just like with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just like with Dianne Feinstein, the left, myself included, have been literally talking about this even before Biden ran in 2020. I've been talking about how old Biden is and how he's going to drop the incumbent's advantage because he's so old by the time 2024 rolls around. Lo and behold, it's 2024 and we're watching it happen, watching it unfold in front of our eyes in the absolute most catastrophic way possible. Okay? Classic situation where once again, we were right. Okay? Just too early. We were right. Just too early. We'll talk about RFK Jr. Don't worry. Mr. I love to eat dog in a second. Excuse me, mister. I am new in your Twitch. And what I see is people doesn't want new generation. Why is that going all around people who are close to the end of their journey? Bro, I have no idea what you just tried to say, but congratulations on watching the stream. I'm happy for you. I think you're saying Biden is old. What's up with the old generation not letting new generation come in? And that's because they're selfish. Boomers are incredibly entitled. Boomers are incredibly selfish. They ruin the goddamn economy. They don't give a shit. They have baby boomers, and Biden is even older than a baby boomer. I'm using boomer as like a catch-all term for old people in general. And let me tell you, the baby boomer generation owns like 75% of all the wealth in this country. Okay, it is captured up there, and those motherfuckers increasingly less productive in general for obvious reasons. They're old as shit. Okay. So the situation is pretty bad overall, and they're not dying due to the advances in medicine. And they are increasingly thinking that they can, continue doing the dang thing that they've been doing. Unfortunately, like I said, it is a side effect. It is a consequence. It is a consequence of having good medicine. Okay. It's just these motherfuckers think, we're good. Israel just presented a new deal to Hamas. Yeah, I saw. And then Hamas responded as well. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll get to that. Let's continue with this.
CNN breaking news.
Breaking news, CNN has learned President Biden has privately acknowledged a series of critical tests are ahead in the next stretch of days. Those tests essential to determining whether he can stay in the race for the White House. CNN White House correspondent MJ Lee joining us now. MJ, what more are you learning?
This is the problem. Like, when you have Biden has presented himself as this like underdog over and over again, and it's just a lie. Like, this motherfucker is this whole narrative that he's trying to put together is like he's the underdog always. When he gets knocked down, he gets back up again, and they're never gonna put him down. That kind of shit, the Chumbawamba ass shit. Look at the 2020 look at the 2020 election. Look at the 2022 midterms. Like, none of that shit was because of Biden's dynamic, charismatic personality. Okay, we looked at a poll yesterday. 67% of Americans say they want to vote against Trump. 67% of Biden, likely Biden voters, say they're voting against Trump, and 33% say they're voting for Biden. That percentage is damn near identical to 2020. That wasn't because Brandon was the guy, even though MSNBC and CNN and all these other liberal institutions that are fraudulent and did not want Bernie Sanders because they were terrified of even moderate social democratic progress, wanted to put an institutional cadaver in a position of power instead, and constantly presented Joe Biden as the guy who can beat Trump, the only guy who can beat Trump. But at the time, the polls showed the exact same reality. No one was voting for Biden because he was a dynamo. No one was voting for Biden because they genuinely love Biden. People were voting for return to normalcy. People were voting for competency. Okay. And throughout the past 4 years, Joseph Robinette Biden demonstrated slowly but surely that he is, his faculties are diminished, and it's not actually normal. It's not business as usual. And also that he is kind of incompetent. Okay. That's one of the biggest aspects. That's the biggest selling point for Brandon. There's no ideology that is causing people to go out and vote for him. It's just like they want competency and they want a Democrat because Trump represents chaos. And, Biden is an old school politician. In 2020, they still saw all of that and were voting against Donald Trump. 2024 comes around, those percentages haven't moved. 4 years of incumbency, and those percentages haven't moved even a little bit. That does not spell people love the past 4 years of the Brandon administration. Okay. If you're in power for 4 years and people are still like, yeah, I guess I'm voting against Donald Trump, then, you haven't really done much, or rather, you haven't really communicated what you've done well enough. Both of these things are true to a certain degree. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at with the situation. Okay.
Erica, what I am learning, and this is according to an ally of the president's who spoke with the president directly yesterday, is that the president has privately acknowledged that the next stretch of days are going to be so critical to the question of whether he can save his reelection campaign. The president, made clear to this ally in this conversation yesterday that he understands what circumstances would prompt him to basically accept it's just not working. This person who spoke to the president telling me that he sees the moment, he is clear-eyed, and they said that the president is very clear on the series of potential events that could come in the coming days that would prompt him again to accept that what he's trying to do to turn the narrative, turn his campaign around, isn't working. This person said, quote, the polls are plummeting, the fundraising is drying up, and the interviews are going badly. He's not oblivious. This is, of course, the person paraphrasing the conversation that they had with the president yesterday. As you know, this is a really significant window into how the president is going to be handling the next important stretch for his campaign. His campaign is in an existential crisis right now ever since that terrible debate performance last week, and he is under tremendous amount of pressure right now from Democratic Party leaders, from donors, voters who have said last week really demonstrated that he is not up for running for re-election or even finishing out the term. Now,
what happens if he performs the same in the September debate? He's not making it to September. He's not making it to the September debate, dude. There's no shot.
Now, interestingly, I'm also told that in this private conversation yesterday, the president was also chastened and blamed himself, not his staff, for his poor debate performance. He said, I have done too much foreign policy, according to this ally that I spoke with. And he acknowledged that the back-to-back foreign trips that he had leading up to Thursday night's debate had been a mistake. We, of course, heard the president saying that at a fundraiser.
Yeah, also claiming that you're the underdog when you're the incumbent president running for re-election is so funny. That's literally also very Trumpian, which is seemingly what the Brandon re-election campaign has been so far. Turn orange, bring your dumbass fail son into the White House with like meetings, inappropriately bringing them into meetings with staffers, and also incredibly reactionary immigration policy. And last but not least, portray yourself as the underdog. Donald Trump in his re-election kept trying to present himself as an outsider. Okay. He kept trying to be like, I'm gonna make America great again. It's like, bro, you already were the president. Like, you're still the president right now. What do you mean? Make America great again. And then they tried to revamp it and try to do CAG, keep America great. And that shit didn't work. So then he went back to make America great again. And it's like, okay, so you're admitting that shit ain't great. Like, that was a swing and a miss for the Trump administration. And that's the thing. Like, you can't really present yourself as an underdog. When you're running as an incumbent, you just have to rest on the laurels of your success. You have to rest on the laurels of your administration, of your term. Okay? No wars, though. Yes, dude. The president that like increased drone strikes by something like 400%. The guy who personally followed through on the assassination of a foreign, top commander of a country that had a denuclearization agreement, a bilateral denuclearization agreement that took decades to put together, okay? A denuclearization agreement that he actually cast aside Yeah, he was actually not reactionary at all. You're so right about that, dude. He was so good on his wars. Like, oh my God. Ugh. People are so stupid about Donald Trump. It feels like they just like desperately want to vote for him. I don't understand it. They're like, I want to vote for him, but like I can't get myself to do it. I can't get myself over the finish line. So please whisper sweet nothings into my ear. I feel like that's the energy that people come in here with. It's like, yeah, dude, I hate the Democratic Party. Okay? I hate the Democratic Party. I want the same thing you do? No, the fuck you don't. If you're saying shit like if you're saying shit like no wars though when talking about Donald Trump, what do you mean no wars, bro? There's never been a moment where America has 800 military bases around the world that we know of. What the fuck do you mean no wars? Our global warfare is permanent. The notion that like, oh, a presiding president is not overseeing like complete death, destruction, and global domination is so laughable as a take. Okay? I know the elite controls the war. We need to stop the shit. Yeah, okay. Who do you think Trump is? You said the elites control the war? Like, sure, the military industrial complex has a big say, or other, you know, global capital owners in general have a big say in like American domination because they're the ones who actually benefit from it. But the notion that like, you know, Trump was actually fighting against the elite and wasn't firmly a part of the elite is ridiculous.
Last night as well, the jet lag and the exhaustion heading into Thursday.
You just dick riding Democrats, law? At what point in this entire broadcast have I dick rode the Democrats? God damn, dude. You have to be the densest. You have to be unimaginably dense, dude. I'm sorry. What the fuck? I'm currently literally talking about how the incumbent Democratic president needs to drop out. Okay, you literally cannot win. That's hilarious, dude. I don't know. I don't know if like me shitting on Donald Trump doesn't mean I like the Democratic Party. Me shitting on Joe Biden definitely doesn't mean I like the Republican Party. Okay.
Just had not been a good idea, the president told this ally. Of course, all of this is just so crucial, and again, just a really important insight into how the president is trying to fix the situation that may or may not be able to be fixed. And I think the White House is denying. The New York Times is reporting that the president is acknowledging that he may not be able to salvage his campaign. I mean, the reporting that we have right here goes right up to the line. If the president is telling an ally in a private conversation that he knows what it will look like if his attempt to save his campaign isn't working, there is a bit of a suggestion there that he knows that there is, of course, a scenario where he isn't able to save his bid for a second term. So again, a private conversation that gives us some new insight into how the president is trying to handle the next couple of days and the coming weeks. Of course, we know from the White House that they are trying to put a lot more on his schedule to try to show the president in more unscripted settings, like the extended interview that he is going to do on Friday with ABC News. He is going to be getting out there into the country.
That's not unscripted in the way that people want to see him, though. People want to see him in action in real time. Like, people don't want to just hear him talk in an edited conversation. People have seen that already. People have seen that already. So stupid. Anyway.
Country a little bit more, but the big question for the party and for a lot of nervous Democrats that are watching right now is whether any of those things will be enough. And Erica, I also have to just point out the fact that the White House and the campaign are putting so much into these events and these appearances that the president is about to do. I mean, that just means that if he has a slip up, if those things do not go well, then they are going to have to acknowledge, and it appears that the president is willing to acknowledge that at some point too, that there's a scenario where all of the efforts that they are making, all of the efforts that they are going to make in the coming days, that ultimately they may not be enough to save the president's campaign.
MJ, it's an important point, and it is such excellent reporting, as always, my friend. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I do want to discuss further now with CNN political commentator, former Biden White House communications director Kate Bedingfield, and Republican strategist Doug Heye. Good to see you both. Kate, I know you just heard the reporting from MJ. As she pointed out, the White House denying the New York Times reporting. The campaign also denying to me just a couple of moments ago that New York Times reporting. But I think it's important as we hear what MJ is saying here, right? The fact that there is this meeting, there is clearly a discussion going on, despite the fact that the campaign just told me there was no discussion whatsoever. Kate, how do you read this? What does this tell you about the mindset of the man who you worked for and the mindset inside that White House right now?
Well, I mean, look, we should acknowledge that both the White House and the campaign are flatly denying the reporting. But even setting that aside, I think there is no question this is a significant stretch of time that the campaign and the White House are entering into here. I think they know that the task ahead of them is to put President Biden out there for him to demonstrate that he is energetic, that he's capable, that he's vigorous, that this campaign over the next 4 months is going to be about taking it back to Donald Trump. I mean, that's, in addition to assuaging some of the concerns about age and energy, which is an immediate task ahead of him. The other big task for him here is to drive the message of the race back to Trump.
Trump, Flynn, 2024 FEC ID. Look at this. Wait, what? Flynn? There is no shot. Trump declared as VP. There is no way. What? This has got to be wrong. What are you saying? Bro. What? Dude, no way. No way. There is no way. He just released this? Bro, who is doing this? Like, can anybody file this? Can this be a fake filing? Like a dud? Because I do not believe that this is real. This is so incredibly stupid for Trump that no way. Dude, it's a government site. I know, but I'm asking. There's no way this is this. No, I don't believe it. Yeah, see, there you go. Immediately, fraud. Trump campaign denies federal filing naming Michael Flynn as VP running mate. This is from a week ago. No, you're crazy. Michael Flynn is the former national security advisor of the Trump administration. He's a general, and he's also recently he's known as an absolute QAnon freak. Okay? Like a straight up QAnon guy. Okay? And there is 0% chance that Donald Trump, whose biggest weakness in the broader electorate is that he is too close with the weirdos. There's no shot. There is no shot that Donald Trump would run alongside and put Trump tells former advisor Michael Flynn, we're going to bring you back. Yeah, dude, that's May 13th, 2023. Okay, number one. And number two, this does not mean we're going to make you our VP. You're insane. Michael Flynn is doing QAnon conferences to eight freaks with genuine schizophrenia for $1,000 a pop in a Holiday Inn in Maryland. He is not going to be the VP. The FEC filing has to be some fake person who made it up. They input this shit and put in these addresses or whatever. But there's no way. There's no way because it is unimaginably stupid for Donald Trump, whose political instincts are significantly better than the run-of-the-mill Democrat and even the run-of-the-mill Republican. Nah, bro, Edinger Mentum is posting it up. No, he's memeing about it, dude. No. Why is that hard to believe, for real? What do you mean, why is that hard to believe, dude? He's a QAnon kook. Are you insane? It's like running alongside Steve Bannon, except Steve Bannon probably has more of a fan base than Michael Flynn. Okay, guys, dude, here, you want to know what I'm talking about? Here. You can take all the money, only he will bring us closer. You think that guy is the VP? That guy sitting in between Jimmy Levy, okay, and the most divorced dads, okay, child custody Groyper 69. Okay, child custody arrangement Groyper 69. Okay, 1776 Black MAGA, 1947. Okay. And just like Jimmy Levy and 4G Auto Suck, that guy who's singing auto-tune, that's the VP. That's Trump's VP. No shot, dude. The Republicans would never, especially the Trump administration, would never gift wrap. Like he would never personally gift wrap this unimaginable W. Yeah, divorced USMC 88. Like who could forget that guy? Yeah. Dude, the VP has to be an inoffensive person. Okay. I don't think you guys understand how VP works, like how the position works. The position is supposed to be a good balance. If your weakness is that like institutional party loyalists think you're too volatile and donors think you're too volatile, you got to bring someone like, you got to bring someone like Michael Pence, right? He's a Koch guy. He's tapped in with the evangelicals. And most importantly, again, he is like a regular run-of-the-mill. He's a regular run-of-the-mill Republican, okay? The idea that Donald Trump would lean into one of his biggest weaknesses, like Sarah Palin, dude, Sarah Palin is a great example. It's one of the best swing and misses of all time. Many people credit the McCain campaign falling apart to Sarah Palin. Some people even go so far as to say John McCain unleashed Sarah Palin and the Tea Party to the broadest American electorate. And is responsible for the likes of Donald Trump, like a populist MAGA figure who's just like almost an outward fascist. Having said that, however, Sarah Palin was absolutely a balancing act for John McCain. John McCain was a patriotic maverick, but he was too much of a centrist. So what did they do? They needed somebody who would beef up the ticket with the nutters, because the nutters have always been the most important constituency for the Republican Party. So they went after a Tea Party populist like Sarah Palin. Okay. So yes, this only reinforces the argument that I'm making. The point is, Trump is most likely looking at like a JD Vance style figure as a VP. And this is in the opposite direction. This man doesn't bring in donation money. This man doesn't bring in like an actual constituency with him. He's not like a popular figure in the Republican Party at all. Okay. And on top of that, this man is a representation of the worst elements of the Republican Party from the perspective of like the broader electorate. Okay. This is exactly what is considered normie repellent. Okay. This is normie repellent for the normal suburb Republicans and independents. This is one of Trump's glaringly obvious weaknesses. Okay. There is no way in hell he would lean into this big of a weakness, because Donald Trump, you can say many things about him, but Donald Trump is not a person who is blind to the room. He reads it very well. He sees the room. Yeah. Trump's biggest weakness with moderate voters is how gross they find him. There's no way he'd find a grosser dude to be his VP. Exactly. No, someone said it'd be like Biden bringing you up as a VP pick. No, it would be like Biden having Jimmy Carter be his VP. Okay? Like, that's what it would be like. It would be like if Biden was like, hey, you know, what is one of my biggest weaknesses right now? How old I am, how senile I am. Jimmy Carter on the VP ticket, baby. Biden Carter, run it up. Let's see how old we can go. That's what it would be like. Anyway, a new political committee registered with the FEC indicates Donald Trump will name his former national security advisor Michael Flynn as his vice presidential running mate. But the committee, Donald J. Trump and Michael Flynn for President 2024 Inc., is bogus. The Trump campaign confirmed a raw story. Yeah, I don't know why we're still having this conversation. I mean, this is like, it's been disparaged already. Yes, I know my internet is dog water right now. I know it's effing. Just hold the line, dude. Just hold the line, dude. I'm still here. Okay. I think I'm back. Anyway, here's further evidence that Donald Trump is not going to pick Michael Flynn as his vice president.
Jack Flynn. Do Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Of the office on which I am about to enter.
Of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all.
God bless America.
God bless America.
I,
Jack Flynn,
do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Of the office on which I am about to enter.
Of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Where we go one, we go all.
Trying to brainwash us? Yeah, I'm trying to brainwash you into understanding a key truth here, which is that motherfucker ain't becoming the VP, bro. He's more likely to have RFK Jr. as his VP. Do you understand me?
And back to what is actually at stake here, and back to the fact that his opponent is somebody who has said he's going to use the White House as a tool of personal retribution, and that he might not accept the results of the election. And so, you know, there is a real threat here. There's a threat to women's reproductive health. There's a threat to essentially your freedoms. So the task that Biden has now is to drive the race back to that ground. I think he can do that, but I also think that that is going to be contingent on these next few days and kind of how this all goes for him.
You know, Doug, you've worked on your share of campaigns as well, Doug. But as you look at the way this is playing out, and even the communications that we've seen around it, little bits of information petering out, the campaign initially dismissing concerns. It's tough to forget the bedwetting brigade fundraising memo. When you look at this and you look at these denials of these conversations, what is your read on the campaign and how things are being handled?
Yeah, I view it completely from that lens of working on Capitol Hill and campaigns as a communications staffer. And we know, obviously, that no candidate is ever pulling out of a race until the moment that they say that they're going to, in a tweet or on stage, whatever that venue may be. So Quentin earlier did his job, did it admirably, and did the job you're...
Someone tell Hasan to close the videos that he's not watching. They're loading in the background. What? Dude, it's fine. Anyway, y'all got debated, okay, with the Michael Flynn shit. We're done with that, right? Please. It lists Crate, not Trump, as a candidate for president. Judith Ingram, a spokesperson for the FEC commission. FEC declined to comment. Okay, I don't know why you guys ate that bait so fast. I think you're wrong on this. What? I don't think it's Flynn, but Trump is not a normal candidate. Normal VP math doesn't apply. Yes, it does. Mike Pence was his vice president. What are you talking about? He absolutely feels betrayed by Pence, so wants someone with no large profile and B who's absolutely loyalist. Trump backed the likes of Carrie Lake. Dude. Trump's political instincts are seemingly better than yours in this circumstance, I think. You're wrong. You're so wrong. He put like the top 5 contenders on there. Okay? And every single one of them is exactly in the confines of what I'm talking about. Bro, he had Bergam on there. Are you kidding me? Bergamaniacs, rise up. Like, you're insane. He wants a guy who can bring in big ticket donors, who's not going to fuck up the bag, who's not going to be outshining him, who's not going to be more charismatic than him, who's going to be relatively loyal to him. Loyalty number one. But that person also needs to have like somewhat of a constituency, or at least like bring something to the table. Michael Flynn brings nothing to the table. Anyway, having said that, I believe a lot of you are very delayed, so you should probably refresh or subscribe. Because at the top of the hour, some of you are about to find out that there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Maybe you'll refresh through the ad break. Maybe you will see the ad break. Okay? As long as you subscribe, you will no longer see the ads, though. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Bergamaniacs. We need a Doug Burgum type to gift people subs. System Stars. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Bro, Michael Flynn has a better shot on the RFK ticket than Donald Trump, okay? I'm saying it again. The fuck out of here with this nonsense, dude. You can't catch me slipping like that. I know I'm like off my game a little bit because I'm, tired due to the massive jet lag and the fact that I'm like running around all day. But you're out of your dang mind if you think I will get caught slipping with that FEC filing.
Supposed to do when you're in a communications role like this. And I have enormous sympathy because quite often you're doing what you're told. And when people outside say, what the hell are they doing? And I've been on the receiving end of this. I know that the communication staffers are doing what they're told, but also
oh my God, half a chat is still reacting to the YouTube video that I was watching earlier. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's pissing me off. The delay is going crazy mode. And it's also still effing every now and then. Oh my God. Everybody needs to refresh again, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to fix this. I'm so upset. Half of you are so delayed, and it's effing
actually able to do. And the challenge, I think, is not what the Biden campaign says. It's the larger ecosphere around them. And if I'm working for President Biden and his campaign right now, I don't want Jim Clyburn on TV anymore. I don't want Nancy Pelosi going on TV anymore. Stop trying to help. You're not helping the situation. When Nancy Pelosi says it's a legitimate question, or Clyburn goes back and forth because he's on 9 different channels a day, your allies are not helping you. You need your surrogates all on board, or you need them quiet and to drive that message yourself.
But then, Doug, and really it's a question for the both of you, is that, though, a signal, right, that you are seeing Nancy Pelosi saying we need to know whether this was a one-off or whether this is a sign of a larger problem, that you are seeing cracks from your surrogates and public calls from your fellow Democrats to step aside? I mean, Doug, isn't that still a crisis of messaging if they are not getting through to their allies?
Yeah, and very clearly, there's not a strong hand here. This is where some of these members should have heard from Joe Biden. Joe Biden should have at least talked to Hakeem Jeffries one-on-one at this point, or Clyburn, given what an ally he is. But having these people out there thinking out loud does not benefit the president right now at all.
I do want to point out our reporting is that he has spoken with Minority Leader Jeffries and also with Leader Schumer. Kate, when you look at this, there is also a really important conversation to be had about the role of the First Lady.